Hello students, today's class we'll see about elasticity unit and we'll discuss about Poisson's ratio of rubber, work done in a deforming body, longitudinal strain, shear strain, volumetric strain and the mechanical properties of solids. We'll see one by one. First one, Poisson's ratio. The Poisson's ratio is defined as the ratio of lateral strain per unit stress, that is beta, to the longitudinal strain per unit stress, that is alpha, within this elastic limit. So that is beta is directly proportional to alpha, or you can write it as sigma is equal to beta divided by alpha. Here, as I told you earlier, this alpha is the longitudinal strain per unit stress. See here, longitudinal strain per unit stress, and beta is equal to lateral strain per unit stress. Lateral strain per unit stress. So therefore we can define the Poisson ratio as sigma is equal to beta divided by alpha. So then when a material is stretched in one direction, it tends to get thinner in the other two direction. See here, if we stretched in one direction, what will happen means it will get thinner in the other direction. The direction is in the lateral direction. Suppose if the sample is compressed in one direction means it tends to get thicker in the lateral direction. When we stretched, so it will get thinner in the lateral direction. When we compressed, it will get thicker in the lateral direction. See here, this is the example for tension and compression. During the tension, two forces are acting away from each other. The length is getting extended, that is it gets thin, whereas in the case of compression, two forces are acting towards each other. So here they get shorter and also thicker. The length is shorter and the material is getting thicker. This is for compression. Here I have given the formula nu is equal to sigma lateral divided by sigma axial. Next we will see how to calculate the Poisson's ratio. So before that I will explain this diagram. So first we have to take a wire of length L. L is the original length of the wire and that should be placed near the stand, or we can fix in the stand. So then D is the diameter of the wire and we have to apply the force, or we have to put a weight. So what will happen means the length will increase. The increase in length is dl and the diameter will get decrease. The decrease in diameter is dt. We'll see how to calculate the Poisson's ratio. See here, already I told you sigma is equal to beta divided by alpha and sigma is equal to minus dt by dt, that is change in diameter to original diameter, and dl is change in length by original length. Here I have put minus sign. Why minus means the diameter is getting decreases and the length is getting increases. Then we can rearrange this equation. So sigma is equal to minus dt by dl into L by d. So here the sigma depends upon the nature of the material of the body, and sigma does not have any unit and it varies from 0.2 to 0.4, 0.2 to 0.4, and sometimes the value may vary, it may be 0.5 also. Then the initial volume of the wire V is equal to pi d square divided by 4 into L, that is area into length, and we have to differentiate this equation. When we differentiate that equation, what will happen means dV is equal to pi by 4. We have to take the common term outside and we have to differentiate using UV method. UV is equal to U dV plus V du, and you'll get this equation. Then this pi by 4 we can bring it to the next side. Then if suppose dV is equal to 0 means what will happen, this d square dl plus L into 2d dt is equal to 0. Then from this we have to find out the value of dl. Then we have to rearrange it. Then dt by dl into L by d is equal to minus 1 by 2. That is the maximum possible value of Poisson's ratio, 0.5. So next I'll discuss you about the Poisson ratio of rubber. Let us consider this diagram. So here the C is the graduated glass tube, and this is the length of the rubber tube, and this is the pointer, and this is the weight is fixed at the lower end. This is about the Poisson's ratio of rubber. That means we have considered the rubber tube whose length is L, and C is the graduated glass tube, and P is the pointer, and W is the weight. And first one, when we add a weight, or when we place the weight in the weight hanger, the length of the tube increases and the area of cross section decreases. Then second point, the internal volume of the tube is also increases. Third point, the level of water in the tube C falls, that means reduces. And the fourth point, the distance through which the pointer P moves is measured with the help of travelling microscope. Then the increase in length of the tube is equal to dl. Next we will see how to calculate this Poisson ratio of rubber. Poisson's ratio of rubber. Let us consider the initial volume V, capital V, initial length capital L, area of cross section A, and volume is equal to area into length. Then after loading, the volume becomes V plus dV because the volume increases. Then which is equal to L plus dl into A minus dA. So here length increases, area decreases, so minus sign. We have to simplify it and we have to neglect this term, and I have written the remaining terms. So I got the equation 1. So next what will happen, we will see one by one. So we know that the area A is equal to pi d squared divided by 4, or pi is equal to 4a divided by t squared. Differentiate this equation, we will get this. Then substitute the value of pi in the previous equations and you will get the value of dA. Then after getting dA, what we have to do means we have to substitute 2 in equation 1. Already we have the equation 1, we have to substitute in this equations, and for the simplifications we have to divide it by dl and we will get this equation. So after getting the equations, we have to simplify it. Then we know the formula sigma is equal to beta divided by alpha. Just substitute the value and rearrange it, and the equation third becomes sigma is equal to 1 by 2 into 1. I don't know why it is happening like that. Just go through it, students, because I have given a hyperlink here so that it is getting changed like this. So dV is equal to, increase in volume is dV, dV is equal to A into dx. A is the area of cross section and dx is the fall in level of the water. Therefore sigma is equal to see here, sigma is equal to 1 by 2 into 1 minus small a divided by capital A into dx divided by dr. This is the Poisson ratio of rubber. See here, A is the area of cross section and capital A is the initial area of cross section. Next I will move to the work done in deforming a body. So the work done is stored in the body in the form of energy is called the energy of a strain. There are 3 types. First one is a longitudinal strain, second one is a shearing strain, and the third one is a volume strain. We will see one by one. First one, longitudinal strain. The longitudinal strain is defined as change in length to the original length of the object. Let us see this diagram. Let us consider a cylindrical rod and the length is L, original length, and original diameter is D, and the change in length is L plus DL, that is the length increases and the diameter changes D minus delta into D, that is the diameter getting decreases, and here we have applied the force, that is tension here we have applied. And the longitudinal strain is given by the formula change in length to the original length, and the formula is del L divided by L, where L is the original length and delta L is the change in length, and the unit is there is no unit for longitudinal strain because this is also length and this is also length, which is measured in meter, both will get cancelled each other, so the change in length will be measured in meter and original length is also measured in meter, both will get cancelled. So the unit is no unit, or you can say the dimensionless quantity. So let us see how to calculate the longitudinal strain. Before that, we'll see the L. L is the length of the wire, A is area of cross section, Y is Young's modulus, and small l is the increase in length when a stretching force is applied, F is applied. We'll move to the calculation part. See here I have given the work done in a deforming a body. So first one, longitudinal strain. The longitudinal strain is given by dW is equal to integral of 0 to L F dot dl is equation 1, and we know the formula Young's modulus is equal to stress divided by strain, longitudinal stress by longitudinal strain. Longitudinal stress is denoted by F by A, and longitudinal strain is change in length to the original length. So therefore the Young's modulus Y is equal to F by A divided by small l into capital L. F is a force, A is area, and small is change in length, and capital L is the original length. From that we can find out the value of Y. So Y, from that we have to calculate the value of Y. Why it is happening like that? So Y is equal to F by F into capital L divided by A into L. Okay. So we have to calculate the longitudinal strain. Just to go through that material, students, you can understand it. So work done is equal to half into stress into strain you'll get. Next one, I'll discuss about shear strain. The shear strain is measured as the displacement of the surface that in direct contact with the applied shear stress from its original position. See here, this is the diagram which explains the shear strain. Okay, L is the original length, and when we stretch the angle the theta, and it is defined as the change in angle to which it's turned to its distance from the fixed layer. That means shearing strain is equal to change in length to the original length. Okay, it is also defined as the ratio of deformation to the original dimension. In case of shear strain, it is the amount of deformation perpendicular to the given line rather than the parallel to it. So next, the same shear stress in diagram, let us consider the two antiparallel force F and F of equal magnitude, both should have the equal magnitude, are applied tangentially to opposite parallel face. So this force is applied to this direction and this force is applied to this direction. The dashed line contour depicts the result deformations. So when we apply the force, what will happen means, so here this will get deformed. There is no change in the direction of transverse to acting force. There is no change in the direction transverse to the acting force, and the transverse length L0 is unaffected. The length will not get unaffected. This is the transverse length will not get unaffected. The shear deformation is characteristic by the gradual shift delta x. This is a gradual shift. This is the original length. When we compress, what will happen means, so the length will get changed, and this delta x is the gradual shift, and that direction is tangent to the force. Next, I will move to the shear strain calculation. Longitudinal strain already we have seen. Okay, 1 minute to wait. I'll look at the next one, next step. See here, the sharing strain, L is the cube side of the cube, F is the tangential force, and pi is the angle, and T is a tangential stress. Then neta is equal to T divided by pi. From that we can calculate T is equal to neta into pi. Therefore, the total tangential force is equal to T into area. So we have to substitute 1 in equation 2 and we'll get this equation 3. We know that work done is equal to force F dot dl and the limit 0 to pi. So where dl is equal to L into T pi. So we have to substitute instead of this dl as F dot dl into T pi. Then we know the formula for F. F is equal to, already I have given here, F is equal to neta pi into A. Just to substitute the value here, then take the common term outside, pi into pi dot T pi, we have to integrate it. So then x dot dx is equal to x squared by 2. Similarly, pi dot T pi is equal to pi squared divided by 2. Then this is a W. Then work done per unit volume is given by the formula. W is equal to capital W divided by capital V. So we have to substitute the value and finally we'll get W is equal to half into stress into strain. And simultaneously I'll explain the volume strain also, then I'll move to that part. V is the volume of the cube, A is the area of cross section, L is the length, and P is the normal stress, and V is the change in volume. So work done is equal to P dot dV, where we know the formula for K is equal to P capital V divided by small v. From that we can calculate V and substitute 2 in 1 and we'll get W. Then work done per unit volume is given by W is equal to P into V divided by 2 into V. So then that V by V is a strain, so P is a stress. So W is equal to half into stress into strain, and this is for volume strain. Then come to my part. Already we have seen all this concept. So far we have discussed about what is Poisson's ratio and how to calculate the Poisson's ratio. Then Poisson's ratio of rubber we have calculated. Poisson's ratio of rubber. Then work done. We have seen about the work done in a deforming body, and there are 3 types of work done. One is a longitudinal strain, another one is a shearing strain, and volume strain. Then we have seen the longitudinal strain and also we have calculated the calculations part. Then longitudinal strain we have calculated, and work done we got W is equal to half into stress into strain, and also shearing strain we have calculated, and I have given the calculations part also. So next one, volume strain. So volume strain is nothing but the ratio of change in volume to the original volume, that is delta V divided by V. So delta V is the change in volume and capital V is the original volume, and I have shown you the calculation part previously, and we got it W is equal to half into stress into strain. Then we'll see the mechanical properties of the solid, overall mechanical properties of the solid in detail. See, that's what we have seen in the previous classes. Stress is equal to force by area, strain is equal to change in dimension to original dimension, or you can say that change in configuration to original configurations. Then Young's modulus, normal stress to longitudinal strain, bulk modulus, normal stress to volume strain. Then Hooke's law, stress is directly proportional to strain. Stress is equal to E into strain, and E is nothing but modulus of elasticity. And elasticity we have seen, and plasticity, it is a review class. The elasticity is the ability of a body to regain its original shape on removing the deforming force, whereas the plasticity is nothing but when we remove the force, it won't come to the original. That means the inability of the body to regain its original size and shape on a removal of the deforming force. This is difference between elasticity and plasticity. Then bulk modulus is nothing but normal stress to volume strain. Bulk modulus is denoted by the letter K. K is equal to 1 divided by B. K is nothing but compressibility. Then modulus of rigidity is G, which is equal to shearing stress to shearing strain. Then Poisson ratio, sigma is equal to beta divided by alpha. Simply we can say that shearing stress to longitudinal strain. And the next one, that will give the relations between all the parameters. So that things I'll discuss you in the next class in detail, and we'll solve this all y, sigma and u and everything will calculate in the next class. Thank you, students. So with this, so I want to complete this class. The next things we'll see in the next class.